The PDGA Major Trail has made its way to Oregon. Grant Zellner and Hayden Henry at the 2023 PDGA Tim Selinske U.S. Masters Disc Golf Championship. That's a mouthful, but it deserves to be with more than 400 competitors here in Oregon. We are at Circle Bar Ranch, one of several venues hosting this incredible event. This region is in love with disc golf.
Incredible, beautiful views everywhere you turn, just a great community, both the Oregon staff and volunteers here and the community that comes together for a Masters Major. It's just incredible, and it's going to be a great week.
It's a 4-day major starting on Thursday, May 25th, going through Sunday, the 28th. And we've got, as I mentioned, more than 420 to be precise participants in 21 different divisions. They'll be playing across 4 different courses here in the Eugene, Oregon area. It is going to be a lot of disc golf played by a lot of players, all the Masters divisions out here and well represented.
Definitely. We have 38 players that have PDGA numbers in the 4 digits, and we have 19 that are over 200,000. So just a wide swath of players, and all kinds of different divisions competing for a major title.
Well, as I mentioned, we're here at the Circle Bar Golf Club just outside of Eugene, Oregon, about 45 or 50 minutes to the south of the Eugene area. We're going to take a quick look at this course. It'll be hosting days 1 and 3 for the FP40 division, the MP40 division, and the MP50 division. And this course has a lot of challenges facing the players. We've got a steep hillside into a rolling valley floor, which you can see behind Hayden and I. High wind currents come right up to this valley, a number of par 4s and par 5s, some of which will take not 1 but 2 distance drivers to meet. A lot of baskets here, very, very exposed and out in the open. It's going to make putting a real challenge for the players on this venue. But the main identifier of this particular course, it is on a ball golf course. It's used the land very well. It's quite exposed and quite long.
Yeah, Dustin Keegan and Zoe Andike actually chipped into the design. They're from Eugene, so they've spent some time out here on the property and really sculpted a ball golf course that's suitable to the Masters field.
Lots of sloping lies in particular, and a lot of baskets placed on sloping hillsides. 18 finishes straight up the hill. It's a very, very challenging finishing hole that'll play as a par 5 for the FP40 division. We also will be seeing these same 3 divisions taking on the Dexter course over at Dexter Park. Dexter is indicated by long exposed holes at the opening of the round, and then the course literally dives down the hillside and into thick woods. There's a mix of short technical wooded holes, some longer wooded holes, and one of the characteristics of the Dexter course is so many baskets where inside the circle there are multiple trees to deal with. Going to make the players straddle out, going to have a lot of obstructions within Circle 1 and Circle 2 to deal with. Those guarded basket placements are going to be a real challenge.
Yeah, I think starting on hole 2, you get a sense of what you're about to experience for the next several holes, just with that green and on the slope, in the trees. And, Dexter is the crown jewel of this area.
Yeah.
And I think the TD staff, Rebecca Duffy and Callie McMorrin, made it a point that every player here is going to play Dexter.
And they made sure that happened by shuffling things around and getting everybody out to that course for at least one day. We'll wrap up on Sunday with our championship pro divisions there at the Dexter course. So that's going to be really, really special. This year, the disc golf community lost one of its most beloved members, Jonathan Baldwin. His loss has been heavily felt by the many friends and family that he met along the way.
I felt like, wow, now I'm a part of something pretty cool. This community of people, it wasn't like it was easy to break into them. You had to be around and you had to display some desire to improve, I think. I think they all respected that they could see in me a desire to become a better disc golfer.
Okay, let's talk about John.
JB was a champion very early on.
Seeing him, like, wow, he won the world championships. This is incredible. And I remember it inspired me. I'm like, wow, maybe I could do that someday too. JB, every single hole, I thought maybe all right, well, this could go either way. He seemed to just be buttering these beautiful mid-ranges. And then what I remember the most, of course, by being a putter like I am, JB was in this little mode where every little putt that he really gave it that full effort, he gave this little breath tip, this little and man, when I heard I already knew it was in.
John Baldwin was low key, but he was amazing at the disc golf mechanics. Seeing people's throws, offering just subtle little advice, and his mechanics were flawless.
He gave his love so willingly to everybody that surrounded him. I never heard a hateful thing come out of John Baldwin's mouth.
Doesn't matter if you knew JB for 20 years or you knew him for 5 minutes. When you had JB in front of you and you were having conversation with him, his greatest gift was that he would be so present with you and he would give anything that he had to help you.
If you see trash on the ground or if you see someone who needs some help with their game, offer it to them.
When you had a moment with JB, it meant something. That's the way he reached the community. It was always one-on-one, individually, and it was special.
He just exudes calmness. I would play 20 points better than my rating every time I played with John.
I mean, he made an impact wherever he went. I don't think he really knew how much of a leader he was.
He unfortunately was unable to see himself the way that we all saw him.
He's just an incredible person, and that the disc golf community was very fortunate to have an ambassador like John.
JB was all that is good in this world.
JB, still love you and I miss you.
You know, anyone can go out and win a tournament. That really doesn't say that much about you other than, you know, maybe you're disciplined or talented. And whereas sportsmanship or the way you conduct yourself on the course and off the course, I feel like that's not luck at all.
And clearly, just what an incredible impact that JB had on every single person that he met. You know, I first met him a few years ago at either Selinske or Masters Worlds, and my first impression of him was everything that everyone has said about him. He was present. We talked to him. He came back to me the next day, remembered my name, and just little bit things like that add up, and just an incredible loss. And we'll hear more JB stories throughout the week, and you know, what a legacy that will continue to go on, and the number of people whose lives he touched.
We'll be right back.
Ever since I won Worlds, I had my goals set on another major win. There's no past and there's no future. It's only this moment here.
It's just beautiful to watch Kristen throw the disc. Outright brilliance from Kristen.
The winner of the 2023 PDGA Champions Cup, Kristen Tatar.
You're back at Circle Bar Ranch at the Selinske U.S. Masters Championships with Grant Zellner and Hayden Henry. You've got a chance to follow along with all of the action in all divisions by watching PDGA live scoring throughout the weekend. But there are a couple of divisions you'll get a chance to see post-produced coverage. First of all, the FP40 division being covered by our friends at Ace Run Pro. It's next day coverage. And we have got a foursome on day number one, including Sarah Hokum, Zoe Andyke, Owen Scoggins, and Jennifer Allen.
Yeah, every year when the Masters majors come up, you look at the list and see, okay, which pro has now reached that Masters age, and now we have Zoe Andyke in the mix. You know, Jennifer Allen won 2 years ago. Owen Scoggins continues to shine both at the Masters majors and on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, and Sarah Hokum, a world champion. So just absolutely loaded field, continues to grow every year.
Going to be really exciting to watch these players. Let's take a little deeper dive into Owen Scoggins and what she has been bringing to the course as of late. Owen's a two-time defending Masters World Champion. She's also the defending Selinske U.S. Masters Champion. She took down that victory last year in Quad Cities, Iowa. A very different type of course, shorter, a very technical course here, a little bit more exposed and a lot lengthier of a course. But Owen has shown this year that she has added some distance to her game, and she has been staying in the mix all across the Pro Tour so far this season.
Yeah, I've lost count of how many times she's been on the podium on the Elite Series, but that number is rather large. And if she's missing that, she's still in the top 10, and that's no easy feat to do on the Elite Series. So Own, she shows up with the Masters time, and then she shows up with everyone else. So, yeah, look for great things from her this week.
Another player on that featured card, Jennifer Allen, coming off of that big victory just last weekend at the Beaver State Fling, her first victory of an event of that magnitude on the Pro Tour. However, she is a major champion, took down this very event 2 years ago in Columbia, Missouri.
Yeah, and Jen's had a great season on the Elite Series as well when she's kind of popped on and off the tour so far. But, yeah, Beaver State Fling, that was a loaded silver event. I mean, I can't think of many players that weren't in the field that week. Started with an ace, got a little Sports Center love, and now she's back, looking to get another Masters major title.
That big win 2 years ago at the Tim Selinske U.S. Masters Championship went to that playoff between her and Des Redding and Owen Scoggins. Jen wins in the playoff, very first hole, 150-foot throw-in. She just has a knack for coming up big with these distant shots going into the bottom of the basket, and that was maybe one of the biggest of her career.
Definitely so. And we talked about circle bars suits to her game, but she'll be able to get in the woods like she did at Missouri over at Dexter. So an equal playing field for sure.
Yeah, a handful of handful of holes over there at Dexter. In the woods are a little bit longer, and Jennifer might be one of the few players in the entire field that has a chance at getting even into, say, Circle 2. Some of them are very, very long par 3s. Narrow gaps, and as I mentioned before, really, really constricted around the basket with all of those trees inside the circle. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Another of the groups that you're going to get a chance to see post-produced coverage, the MP40 division. The MP40 division featuring David Felberg, Philo Brathwaite, Dutch Napier, and Cale LaVisca for day one action.
Mr. Smooth, welcome to MP40. He's making his Masters Majors debut. I think he's played a few Masters events so far this year, and then, no surprise, has done well at those. But now he's, out here chasing a major title.
Before we leave that group behind, though, let's take a closer look at Cale LaVisca and what he's been doing lately. Playing for the first time in the MP40 division at a PDGA major. He's a 3-time national tour winner. The last of those victories coming back in 2012 at what was then the Vibram Open. But he has been keeping that rating up.
Yeah, I think his cash streak lasted a long time, which is not easy to do. And traveling the country, like I said, diving into some Masters tournaments, took down the Goat Hill Challenge earlier this year, again, in a pretty solid MP40 field.
Right.
All while, cultivating his course and getting ready for an Elite Series stop in his backyard in Minnesota. So great to see Cale out here.
Yeah, at a 1030 rating, he is the top-rated player in the field, but at these majors, anything can happen, no doubt about it.
PDGA Event Support Helpline.
Hey, I was wondering if I could add some rules to my tournament to make it a little unique.
Sure. You just need a waiver from the Director of Event Support.
Okay, great. An island green?
Shouldn't be a problem.
And elevated baskets?
Yeah, we get those all the time.
Oh, and forehands only?
Sarah, we've been over this.
Sorry. But I don't see why we can't try it. Everyone loves forehands. Like, you can go right, you can go left, you can throw straight, you can throw high, you can throw low.
Grant Zellner and Hayden Henry wrapping things up on this first day of the Tim Selinske U.S. Masters Disc Golf Championships. We want to leave you with a couple of thoughts before we go. First of all, once again, that next day post-produced coverage will be available on the PDGA's YouTube channel for both the FP40 and the MP40 divisions. That said, players already on the course behind us, Hayden.
Yeah, rocking and rolling. And look at the setting behind us in which they're competing. First PDGA major in Oregon since 2014, and it's about time.
It's beautiful out here. The weather is ripe for scoring, but also ripe for some scoring separation with some gusty winds. And of course, as we mentioned, that wooded course over at Dexter looming, I'm sure, in our players' minds. They'll be attacking that course tomorrow. And again, of course, on Sunday. Back here, though, on Saturday. And Hayden and I will be back tomorrow to preview round number 2 and, of course, go over what happened during today's round number 1. So for Hayden Henry, I'm Grant Zellner saying so long from Oregon. We'll see you right back here at the PDGA Tim Selinske U.S. Disc Golf Masters Championships.